Tonight on KVR News, Chris Riley drops out of the runoff election.
While UT raised over $3 billion.
And breaking ground on a new graduate school.
You're watching KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to KVR News for Monday, November 10th. I'm Cassandra Jaramillo.
And I'm Wesley.
Last Tuesday, the Republican Party held on to the governor's spot as Greg Abbott beat Wendy Davis in the gubernatorial election. Dan Patrick was elected lieutenant governor over Leticia Van Depute, and Proposition 1 in support of a high-speed rail was rejected.
Election day may have been a week ago, but there's still buzz over the results. One of the most talked about topics is that of voter turnout. The number of votes cast this year was less than 270,000. Texas Democrats attribute this problem to the new voter ID law. University Democrats say the voter turnout is why the Blue Party didn't come out on top.
And part of that I would attribute to the gerrymandering of our districts and a lot less voter confidence in the fact that their voice is being represented in government. If you look at Austin, for example, we have 5 congressmen in one of the most liberal cities in the country, and only one of them is a Democrat.
With all the talk about this year's election results, we went out to see how students on the 40 acres feel about those that won the vote.
The rest of the country is turning like blue and quote-unquote like liberal or democratic, and Texas is kind of just staying in its like own ways, like its own traditions, which can be either a good or a bad thing. It just depends on how you think of it.
The president's not going to get what he wants. Congress isn't going to get what they want because they kind of essentially cancel each other out. So I think that is just really sad that our political system works that way, where, you know, when something like this happens, nothing really changes. You just wind up, you know, fighting each other, and that's pretty much it.
I think actually the voter turnout for people our age was really, really low. And so overall, I think it represents a lot of the older population of the United States and not the younger population, which is what I believe is partially why so much of the United States is red now.
The majority of Texas is still red, so it wasn't a surprise that Greg Abbott actually won.
Don't really lean Republican, so I was kind of sad to see that. I think people should be able to have freedom for themselves, and I don't like seeing women's freedoms being pushed down, and that's sort of where it's leaning now.
Kathy Tovo won City of Austin's District 9 after candidate Chris Riley dropped out of the race prior to a runoff. The two were set to be the only candidates competing head-to-head in their district. When announcing he would be dropping out, Riley said, "I remain dedicated to the ideals and policies I've championed, and I feel there's a path to victory in this runoff." Riley has served as a council member for the past 5 years and hopes to continue to aid the council as an advocate. Runoff elections for the representatives of District 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10 will occur this December. President Barack Obama has nominated New York prosecutor Loretta Lynch as the nation's next attorney general. Obama stated that Lynch is, quote, more than qualified for the job than anyone else. The praise of Lynch's work, however, may not be enough for Republicans. The GOP House has informed that Obama's early nomination will be a challenging and politically harmful task for Congress since Texas Democrats hold authority of the Senate.
The Macomb School of Business held a groundbreaking ceremony this past Friday for their new graduate school building, Rowling Hall. Speakers included President Bill Powers, Macomb's Dean Eric Hurst, Graduate Business Council President Maureen McAferry, and former UT Regent Bob Rowling. Rowling, a UT alum of 1976, granted the program with $25 million. The building will stand on the corner of East MLK and Guadalupe Street, and construction began this fall and will extend through early 2017. The 485,000 square foot project's stylistic features are said to stand apart from the traditional architecture on campus.
So why are we doing this? Why are we going forward with this project? Why do we want to be involved? There's really one goal here. It's to make this business school the best in the country.
And UT School of Social Work and the Teresa Lozano Institute of Latin American Studies have teamed up to establish a new dual degree program at the graduate level, the very first of its kind in the U.S. The main goal for the dual degree is to address the gap in services faced by U.S. Latinos and Latin American immigrants. Those who graduate from the 3-year program will earn both a Master of Science in Social Work as well as a Master of Arts. Students can now begin applying for admissions for the fall 2015 semester.
The J.J. Pickle Research Campus will be expanding its facilities with the addition of a new Texas Advanced Computing Center. The new TACC building is expected to cost a total of $20 million and will connect to the existing offices by an enclosed walkway. The building is expected to be completed by January 2016. A UT student has been awarded a Rhodes Scholarship. Jessica Glennie, a UT architecture student, is the 29th UT student to be awarded the prestigious scholarship since its establishment in 1902. About 82 scholarships are awarded globally each year. Glennie received hers through New Zealand, where she attended Maclean's College before arriving at UT. Glennie will use the scholarship to study environmental policy at the University of Oxford. 2 other University of Texas students are finalists for the Rhodes Scholarship this year and will be interviewed later this month.
UT is one of 11 sites that will now help conduct groundbreaking research on brain injuries and concussions. The Department of Defense funded a $17 million project to research traumatic brain damage in a new way. Rachel Robillard shows us what this will do for brain head injury research.
A traumatic brain injury can happen in a blink of an eye. Texas linebacker Trey Gonzalez had his first concussion during football practice.
The best way I can describe it is like you're trying to remember things that you didn't know in the first place. It put me behind a little bit academically, and then football-wise, you know, I was out, so that's a month of reps I wasn't taking and time I missed learning plays and going to workouts.
UT is one of 11 sites that will now help conduct groundbreaking research on brain injuries and concussions. The Department of Defense funded a $17 million grant to research traumatic brain damage in a new way.
This grant was born out of the frustration that there have been as many as 60 failed trials for traumatic brain injury to treat it. Banging your head results in damage, but different damage to different people, and that those different aspects of damage should be treated differently.
Rather than simply trying to find a cure like past studies, this research will take a step back and try to figure out distinctions between head injuries.
It allows people to have more research, more understanding of what's going on, and if you have that information, you can make a more educated decision on what you choose to do with your body. So I am all for it. My only question would be, why did it take so long?
Rachel Robillard, KVR News.
This past Thursday was UT Thanks Day, a day where the university thanked all of those that donated part of the $3 billion raised. Part of the process of getting these donations involved making calls, and we met some of the students who work as fundraisers for the university.
So the call center's efforts are really vital in making programs happen, like the undergraduate writing center and the Singer Learning Center, which are resources that the students can use to get ahead in their classes and really improve their writing and with their learning at UT.
Combat state budget cuts that have impeded UT's funding. If the university had to operate on tuition dollars alone, it would have to shut down during the first week of November each year. The generosity of UT's alumni and donors allows the school to provide a world-class education for students and allows Texas to continue its pursuit to become the leading public research institute.
Still to come, a not-so-fun setback.
And a 24-hour FAC. You're watching KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Reports are claiming Caliph and leader of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was critically wounded Friday. It is unclear whether the airstrikes on the western Iraqi border town of Al-Qam or northern Iraqi city of Mosul were the cause. Confirmation of al-Baghdadi's injuries were made on Twitter by an ISIS spokesman, but his fate still remains unclear. U.S. military officials have yet to confirm. And on November 6th, an ex-SEAL Robert O'Neill revealed himself as the shooter in the killing of Osama bin Laden. The Navy SEALs are not happy with O'Neill's decision to speak out, saying that one of the key components of the SEALs is to serve quietly. The SEALs also say that O'Reilly violated this code and his non-disclosure agreement upon joining the SEALs. O'Reilly will appear on Fox News this week to talk more about his role in the raid that took place on May 2nd, 2011.
The first day of the three-day music festival, Fun Fest, turned out to be anything but fun for some festival goers. At 4 p.m., the line for will call tickets built up all the way to the South First Bridge. At 8 p.m., organizers of the festival posted to Facebook stating that the significant delays with the check-in process were due to a significant single wave of unexpected demand. Due to these delays, fans who were still in line at 8 p.m. were let in without checking tickets. No refunds were given. Saturday and Sunday of the festival ran smoothly with no major waiting time.
And a Swedish initiative to eliminate all traffic-related deaths is making its way to Austin, thanks to members of the Pedestrian Advisory Council. Vision Zero is a traffic safety plan with the goal of 0 deaths per year. And while many laws and initiatives have attempted to create safer streets in Austin, Vision Zero would consist of a task force to take a look at how to eliminate pedestrian, cyclist, and driver fatalities. The project has spread to many U.S. cities, including New York City and Chicago. Supporters say they hope to see a program unique to Austin-specific traffic issues, like traffic buildup around 6th Street and other entertainment districts. And the FAC will remain open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of the fall semester. Student Government President Corey Rady announced in an email to students last Wednesday that this would provide students with a safe and convenient place to study just in time for upcoming midterms and finals. The initiative grew from Student Government Senior Alex Dickey, who came up with the idea for a 24-hour FAC, aside from PCL's 24/5 schedule. We went out to see how students feel about this change.
Whenever I'm lonely studying elsewhere, I just think to myself, the FAC is now 24/7, so I'll never be lonely.
Whenever I got the email about FAC being open 24 hours, I was really excited because I live all the way in North Campus and I really am not about to walk over to PCL to study for finals, so I have somewhere closer that I can go.
It's a new environment and I hate being kicked out of PCL, and it's 24/7, so it's 2 more days. Yeah, it really applies to students. It's really helpful.
I think it's just a great way for kids to be able to finally have like a place to actually do their work, no matter the time, and not have to worry about like, having to pack up and like move to a different location to do their work.
I live off campus, and the PCL is a little bit far, even though I know it's open 24/5 now.
It's more convenient to be at FAC instead of at PCL. It takes me like much longer to get home.
More than 200,000 jobs were added last month, according to the Labor Department. However, wages are not rising at the same rate of inflation. Some economists are saying the added jobs are wageless recovery. That has no effect with how these workers may spend their paychecks. With the increase in jobs, the unemployment rate dropped to 5.8% compared to last year's 7.2%. Gasoline fuels your car, but is it fueling consumer spending too? According to the recent reports from the International Counting of Shopping Center chain stores, there was a jump in sales revenue in the last month. Economists say that falling gas prices are helping customers spend their savings for the upcoming holidays. Average gas prices have gone down to $2.99 from the $3.70 average in June.
We just had a beautiful weekend with nice breezy temperatures, not too hot and not too cold, but according to the weather, that may not last for long.
Our Rachel Robillard is live in the Weather Center with this week's weather. Rachel, what can we expect?
Potentially freezing temperatures in Texas in November. I'll have more on the cold front affecting most of the nation after the break.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. Well, I hope you are enjoying and taking advantage of these sunny skies before temperatures begin to get cooler. Tomorrow, we may be seeing a slight chance of showers before noon, but for the most part, skies will be sunny, reaching a high of 56 degrees and then cooling down to the upper 30s by the evening. Wednesday through Friday, we'll be seeing some sunny skies with highs in the low 50s during the day. As for the weekend, you may want to keep an umbrella handy, as we will once again be seeing cloudy skies with chances of some light rain. When we return Monday, you can expect to see those sunny skies again to kick off next week's forecast. So while you may be able to get away just a little longer with wearing shorts to class, I recommend keeping a light jacket on you as we begin to see cooler days. Live from the Weather Center, Rachel Robillard, KVR News.
All right, thanks, Rachel.
Coming up, we have College Press Box's Diego Contreras, who will talk in the studio about Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm College Press Box's Diego Contreras. After a victory against Texas Tech, the Longhorns kept up the winning streak against West Virginia. Let's check out the highlights from DKR. The Longhorns march out to Darrell K. Royal looking for a big home victory against number 23 West Virginia as 3-point underdogs. Big game for the Longhorns at home. Here early in the first quarter, Tyrone Swoops rolls out and hits Marcus Johnson for 7 yards. Tyrone Swoops making plays happen through the air early on in the game. Same drive, 3rd and goal, Tyrone Swoops hits tight end Jeff Swain for the 2-yard touchdown. Swoops making plays happen. 7-0 Texas, 6:35 to go in the first quarter. Here on a 4th and 9 for West Virginia, a 53-yard field goal attempt goes way left. That ball had zero chance. Texas remains on top, 7-3. And the second quarter, Texas driving, and Tyrone Swoops is going to hit MJ McFarland for 9 yards here, and whoop! Looks like he hits the juke stick on a video game or something. Great cane by the kid. Later on, Tyrone Swoops is going to hand it off to Jonathan Gray, and he is taking this to the house. The 30, the 20, the 10, Texas touchdown, 39 yards. Jonathan Gray, huge gain. And a West Virginia ball in the second quarter, and Trickett hits Wendell Swalwood, who gets lit up by Michael Thompson. That's an exciting play for the defense. Late in the second quarter, Jonathan Gray breaks through the hole against West Virginia for 40 yards to the 13-yard line. Jonathan Gray with a very big game this weekend. And later on in that drive, Jonathan Gray is going to burst through the hole for his second touchdown on the day. 21-3 Texas here. West Virginia ball, and Clint Trickett is picked off by who other? Quandre Diggs. And he leads that to a Texas field goal, 24-3 Texas. Halftime, the fans love Quandre. The fans are excited. Texas football, Texas fight. How about them Horns? And later on in the fourth quarter, Cedric Reed gets hit with a safety, 26-10 Texas. And Cedric Reed had a huge game with a sack here, forces a fumble. And just to put a little bit of icing on the cake, Jonathan Gray up the middle for his 3rd touchdown on the day. The boy rushed for 100 yards. 33-16 is the final for Texas. And the eyes of Texas were on West Virginia that evening. The Horns are now 5-5 this season, and College Press Box's Tara Newbaum has more on their victory.
Last Saturday, unranked Texas took on number 23 West Virginia. Coach Strong emphasizes the importance of the team working as a whole and says that these games are not just about one player.
And I think the guys are beginning to trust in one another because we need everybody, and everybody's got to show up. And it's all about the, it's not individual effort. It's all a team effort. Then we go with team, individualism will come, but we got to make sure it's a team effort.
Malcolm Brown says the team's frustration levels have been high during the start of the season, but they knew determination would turn things around.
Not just me, just the whole offense. We're kind of out of sync and just weren't playing like we need to be playing. We have a lot of athletes on this team that are just great players. And, just to have us going out there playing like we did, it was definitely frustrating. But we got to turn around. Just had to stay persistent and just keep grinding it out.
After Texas beat West Virginia Saturday night, this was the Longhorns' first win at home against a ranked opponent since 2008. The Longhorns are now one win away from becoming bowl eligible.
That was a great win for Coach Strong. Beating a ranked opponent as a Texas coach, getting his first ranked win, and the sky's the limit for him.
And you look at it like this, the first half was just everybody being a part of it. The offense, defense, even the kicking game. And then you look at the second half, defensively we had to step up, and we kept putting it on the defense. I'd always say to the defense, in order for us to win, we got to play great defense.
Coach Strong was also very impressed with the run game against West Virginia. And Malcolm Brown says the offensive line was key to his and Gray's success against the Mountaineers.
I mean, we're finding holes everywhere, and Jay Gray did a great job. I would like to believe I did a great job as well, and those guys up front, I mean, they just made it just so easy for us.
Coach Strong says it's all about focus and preparation as they get ready for Oklahoma State this weekend.
Can you go repeat the performance that you just had? I always say the mark of a champion is being able to repeat last week's performance. Can we go do that again?
Texas is set to play in Stillwater at 6:30 this Saturday. Tierra Newbaum, College Press Box.
All right, thanks, Diego. Our Avery Travis has your entertainment news tonight. What's going on in the entertainment world, Avery?
Superheroes own the box office. The fourth time's a charm for a childhood classic, and Jay Leno is back. Coming up next.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Superheroes blasted the competition at the box office this weekend. Walt Disney's first superhero adventure film, Big Hero 6, topped the nearly 3-hour-long sci-fi thriller Interstellar, starring big names like McConaughey and Hathaway. The films both found success by drawing opposite audiences to the theaters. Big Hero soared with a total of $56 million, and Interstellar narrowly missed the top spot, earning an impressive $50 million. Disney has had triumphant November openings the past 2 years with Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. Big Hero 6 adds another #1 debut for the company. Speaking of box office hits, Toy Story 4 is in the works for Disney Pixar. The fourth movie in the beloved Toy Story series is slated to premiere in 2017. The movie will pick up from events in previous Toy Stories, and director John Lasseter revealed it will be a love story. Lasseter, who is the genius behind the original Toy Story, says that the characters are beloved, and this idea for a movie is very exciting. The roles were reversed for Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon on this past weekend. Leno returned to The Tonight Show this past Friday night for his first time since he retired in February. Fallon interviewed the former Tonight Show host after Lennon's brief stand-up set. The dynamic duo scored high ratings for the show, and this episode was its best Friday showing in 8 months. That's all for your entertainment news. For updates throughout the week, you can follow us at KVR News ENT.
Thanks, Avery, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Cassandra Jaramillo.
And I'm Nia Wesley. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News.
Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a great night.